I know you want me. Go on and tell me, baby girl, I wanna give you. I mean, let's color. I got a whole place for tonight. You know me. It's a special night, so we got Lawrence Brownie on the microphone. Turn the laugh to the computer. Baby, late back girl, let's listen in. I got my eyes on you and all. You got your eyes on me and all. After the opera, we laugh come to play. So girl, I'll be your pillow, 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 pillow. I'll be girl, your pillow, pillow. I'll be girl, your pillow. Money,
George, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't hear. Maybe he's just doing his intro. He's got us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Korean
Right.
Podcast.
George, when we're talking about career, do you maybe want to talk about the kind of jobs that that foreigners do over here, that kind of thing? I don't know if we can put that in.
Mostly just teaching, right? I mean, it depends what kind of visa you have. So
Yeah.
you can
That's
teach
a
at the
topic to talk
universities.
about, you know,
Right.
E7 and E2. I don't know how long he wants us to talk about that topic. We can't hear you.
Oh, shit. Okay, one more time. Welcome to the 167 episode of the Korea Podcast. We've been live for a little bit, and I've been talking into an empty microphone, so to speak. The podcast is a one on which we talk about anything and everything related to living and working in South Korea. It's a new format. We switched over to SteamYard because I figured it'd be a little bit of a better platform to use for three faces all at once, and of course nothing comes with hiccups. So here we are. We've got George, Ben, and myself. We're back, and we have been talking about stuff on the on how to present the podcast, and the technicalities of it all kind of got left behind, I guess. Even though that was my responsibility, I didn't do my job very well. So
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
So here we are. But so the decision was, the unanimous decision between the three of us was to have a podcast which will branch out beyond Korea and talk a little bit more about things that are outside of the reach of Korea.
Yeah, so that's what we were aiming for. So this week's topic is going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be about more about global topics, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna do a little bit of Korean based topics. We'll touch in Korea, but we want to talk about things that are of interest to anybody and everybody, I guess, more so outside of Korea. So we'll see how it goes. This is the first one, first episode, and we'll see how the dynamics work out. And Ben's gonna do most of the talking, I think. But
You've delegated. Okay. All right.
So you do it.
All right. So are we going to do we'll do the Korean section first, and we're going to look at the news in Korea and the parking section as well, because I think that is always a rare laugh to look at that and to see the parking talent that we have here in Korea.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Parking talents. Here are the parking talents. Just popped up.
My.
Fantastic. So yeah.
What do we got going on here, gentlemen? What's happening? Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah. So there's a dude. I guess there's
You
nobody there, right? Yeah. Just
Right,
park
right.
right there. which is it's a good
I
place to
sometimes
park.
feel that driving, because I mean we all drive here, right? So
Yeah.
zebra crossings, that that crosswalk is it's not important really on the roads here. Sometimes I feel with a lot of drivers. I don't know, George, how do you feel about that? For me, I like to follow the
He's-
rules, but I mean some people
We all
not
follow
so
the rules,
sure.
but I mean, he's parked right in the middle of the road, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to say that he's blocking the view of incoming traffic. I mean, if
Yeah.
somebody's trying to make a right turn,
Right.
what are they gonna do? Wait?
What about the next one, Jack?
Well, we got a lot of pictures, man. There's this is I guess like a little Matisse parked off a parking lot somewhere. This is what underground parking, right? C15, where
Right.
As long as it fits.
as long as
Yeah.
it fits. This one does fit, right? I guess in a sense you're lucky that Korea is as lenient as it is when it comes to parking and the entire culture of traffic regulations.
Yeah, it could be a
But we
good
got-
thing as well. Could be a good thing. Do you remember? I don't know in Canada or the States whether they had them, but those smart cars that were really small and they could take up half a space, and you could actually park in. You could everyone else is parking side on, but you could
And you
go
park-
front on. Yeah, front on.
Yeah.
And take half a slot. So that used to save time and space.
Yeah. Lisa's
for us-
in the chat. She joined. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Okay, next one. Let's go to the next one. This dude who just couldn't make himself park straight in line.
Right.
Okay.
I suppose he's got an easy way to come out. He was thinking about, I'm going to make my life easier when I come out. I've got to.
Possibly. No idea. This one, man. This was supposed to be last one, but it got jumbled up. I have no idea what happened here.
What
How
happened
did this
there?
woman end up in here is just, I don't know. I guess there must have been a parking spot somewhere here, and she figured, she was gonna
Just
pull up
went through.
as far as she could to the curb, and then realized there was no curb.
Wow. And so it looks like they're trying to help her to get out, like maybe
Yeah.
she,
Yeah, it seems so. I guess she was stuck in it, and they're holding the door so she can climb out of the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive, guys. Don't drink and drive.
This dude just parked
Yeah.
wrong.
That's
It's
probably
not
the
that
best one out of the lot so far. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I could park next to that guy, no problem. I could
Yeah.
deal
You still
with
have
that.
space.
Yeah. This I included in because I don't know. Well, because it's like
Why not?
young culture of
Right,
The
right. That's a
horrible
school
parkers
somewhere,
in
right?
training. Yeah, it looks like
Right.
it's crazy.
Imagine if they would be driving.
Well, that's
best thing-
exactly it, man. They're getting ready for their parking.
They're getting ready for a car. Yeah.
parking training.
Right. The
Parking
best one of
training.
those e-scooters. You ever seen them parked in the middle of a street or randomly on a corner somewhere? And
Yeah,
those scooters that the kids like to hire, they're all over the show, aren't they?
I
Yeah.
pick these up, man. Oftentimes, I'll pick them up and put them back up. If I run into a scooter that's like on its face, I'll pick it up and.
You've been a good neighbor. I just generally leave them.
Thank you for
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do it all the time, but often enough, I guess I would say, to make me a good Samaritan of some
Like
kind.
good Samaritan.
Okay.
Your good deed for the day. Eh?
Yeah, exactamundo.
Check.
Check. This guy.
Is
I
it
have no
actually
idea.
parking, or is that guy maybe just eyeing up the slot?
Sometimes I wonder, maybe they're just like
Yeah.
stopping for a couple of seconds just to get in and get out.
I want to apologize. That's my car. Damn.
Yeah, George. That's good. That's pretty cool, man.
Oh.
This comes with a comment. I see if I can include the comment here. I can't. But this is what it says. What the comment said underneath the video. It says, "Walking street in the Philippines. Only open the traffic during the day solely for deliveries. 2 Korean ajishis just parked, blocking traffic and wandered away. Failed parking in Korea, not just for Korea anymore."
Wow. Wow.
It's a major export. Actually, I've got
Yeah.
to say, London's a nightmare as well. I mean, I've seen it in Germany as well. Some dodgy parking. I'm sure that at the States and Canada, there's some bad parking out there as well, right?
Yeah, but
We do, but They
I mean, in
clean you up
Canada,
in the towing truck.
Yeah,
Oh,
in Canada,
yeah.
you get people, that there are constables walking around all the time. So as soon as you park wrongly, you get ticketed. So it's not, you don't get away with it.
It's expensive, man.
It is
Getting
expensive.
your car back from the yard. It's too expensive.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, man.
So we do follow the rules. Because
Keep this
yeah.
mind. Nobody's getting out,
Oh, I
man.
see.
This
Nobody's
guy's like,
getting
if I'm going to block one guy, that's not enough. I'm going to block everybody.
This is what he just decided to park right underneath the no parking sign. Yeah. What is that? Is that a Infinity? What are these cars? Genesis?
Yeah.
Oh, you
that
can
looks
zoom
like
in.
one.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks like one.
Parking on the sidewalk.
It's easier access to get the food out of the restaurant, I guess.
Absolutely.
But I do understand them. I mean, I don't want to.
Well, these guys
have excuses for them, but they don't have a way to deliver the stuff. I mean, even the culture.
Oh
is
yeah,
so
I
they
think
gotta
it's
do
more
it
related
quick.
to these guys here. Not so
Oh, I
much
see.
the delivery dude, but
Not the
like these
delivery
guys.
driver. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't looking at the car. Yeah.
Mhm.
Damn, how are you getting out of that one?
Yeah, we're getting in. I mean, the passenger's fine. You can go with the driver. He's stuck. This person like shoved.
Oh man, just a
Show you how tight it was.
She's the one that parked there.
Yeah, maybe. She's like. Genesis parked right on the entrance here. Obviously, there's a parking lot, and this person decided not to use it because why the heck would you? Beamer. I've noticed there's a picture coming up. There you go, Tesla. It's the new Beamer, man. Like this guy just parked right on the sidewalk, and so the Tesla is becoming the new luxury car of the country, right?
Do you know how much the tickets are? I mean, if they get cited, how much is it?
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, the tickets are not.
Because I've gotten a ticket for because I also.
I think it's a standard of like 40K, and then if you don't pay it within 30 days or something, it goes up to 50. I think maxes out at 60 or 80.
Does it vary where, like, if you're straight outside of school as well, or blocking like a government building? Then I guess it's a bit more. I guess.
I think for schools, you're right, Ben. For schools, I think it's a little bit more, but because it's a school zone and child endangerment and all that stuff.
Right, right.
There were some laws passed just recently or a couple of years ago, that were meant to prevent people from parking around schools and stuff. Not sure how effective they are, but
okie dokie.
this always gets me, man. I see this
That
time
is
and
not-
time again. Like this is an intersection, right? And he just parks
Yeah.
right in the turn. It's mind blowing.
It looks like Samnandong. Newtown.
Songnam-dong? Does it really in Ulsan?
I don't know. It sounds familiar. It looks familiar.
It looks kind of similar.
I think this guy deserves a freebie.
Right.
This is like a construction site, and it's it's the boonies somewhere. They're
Yeah.
construction cars. I think that's fine. Blocking
We'll give it a
nobody
free
uses that sidewalk anyway, man.
Yeah.
This is the car from the other angle. I think that we've just saw before.
Oh, okay.
It's worse than it. Yeah, that makes it worse.
That's a beauty, right in front of the fire hydrant. How pretty. And so that concludes our fail parking in Korea section.
Nice.
Yes. So, what's next on the menu? Ben, what have you got for us?
Well, we can either jump to a discussion about life as an expat in Korea, or we can do the news roundup for Korea. It's up to you, El Capitan.
Uh-huh. Well, okay, let's do the quick roundup, yeah?
Okay.
Sure.
Korean news roundup. Yeah. What do we got? So we found, what was it? Korean airline.
Airlines, yeah, it got
Mhm.
stuck in Azerbaijan. You guys see that article?
I haven't seen it, but this is awesome.
Okay, well, yeah, what was the deal with it? Airplane
airplane
makes
makes
an emergency landing in Azerbaijan. Okay.
Yeah. After the defect was found in one of its engines. So the airplane is a Korean airplane. And George was saying earlier, that Korean Air has got a pretty good record of
Pretty good safety record, yeah.
pretty good safety record. So
Yeah.
and then you see this, but I guess they didn't crash, they did land. So still safety record
good.
still up.
It's still up,
good.
yeah.
It's better than that. What was that North Korean one? Like Chosun Airlines?
Oh,
It's going to be like rattling around in the sky, bits falling off the plane.
Yeah, and what else? There was a couple of articles on the resurgence of Omicron. I guess there's what is it? Second days of 20,000 cases reported. Second day in a row. I don't know. How are you guys faring on the whole mask front and the fretting of the Omicron? Are you a bit afraid or apprehensive about COVID resurging again?
To be honest, I'm just so busy with work. I haven't had time to think about it recently. And also, it hasn't really been in the news that much, to be honest. Have you noticed that?
right.
Like
Yeah.
last year, all the time, but nowadays it's just like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's as important as it was. I don't know.
I think we didn't know what it was, and it was affecting everyone, and it was a mystery. Then there was something there, but now it's like, okay, well, if I get it, I'll get it. So, plus wearing the mask has become a natural thing now. It's like you just wear it. So.
Yes.
I just see your chats to me, my lord. All right, fantastic, good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, what else have we got?
All right. Shall we jump to our discussion?
Yes, for sure. Living in Korea.
All right. So, guys, we're all expats. We're all from different countries. I thought we pitched as we're saying, we're broadening our net here on the Living Korea podcast. We're trying to attract people from everywhere. And I thought we'd target those people. We talk to those people that are interested maybe in coming to Korea or looking at being an expat around Asia. So, when did you guys come to Korea? I came 2010. When did you guys come to Korea?
I came in 2010
2010.
Really?
That's the magic year. Yeah.
to stay.
Jack,
Stay.
what about yourself?
2005.
2005. Okay, so we've all been here donkey's years. Okay, so
Yes.
what do you make of expat life in Korea? That's the big one we can get started with, and then I have a couple of other countries that we could explore and talk about expat life in Europe, in Italy, in Mauritius, in other places like that. We could talk about. So, what do you make of expat life in Korea?
George, would you like to go first?
Sure. For me, the idea of coming to Korea was proposed by a friend, and obviously, it was because of the money. Come and make some money, some extra cash, whatever. And now I'm here. But for those people who are coming to Korea, I didn't know. There are lots of challenges when you come here, culturally. Even finances. I mean, if you don't know how to manage your finances when you get here. When I came here,
Sorry.
No, go for it.
When I came here, do you find that the wages are lower than US or UK, but you are able to save a lot over here? I find, at least compared to Europe. What do you make about that?
When I was back in the States, I was practically living check to check, and there was no way to save anything, and everything was hard. Now here in Korea, there's some cons and some pros, right? But we are able to save some money here. If you're smart, if you don't overspend, if you are careful, this is actually a good place to be at. Plus, it's safe.
Yeah. And I think that it's very open, very friendly to expats. It's easy, if you speak English, you can come over here and you can kind of settle in. But I do feel sometimes, some expats, they stay in their bubble. right? That's the
Right.
thing that I wasn't aware of until at least my second or third year, that I was kind of staying in my Western group a bit too much, and I wanted to come out of that and connect with locals a lot more. I don't know if you had that kind of experience or you saw that amongst friends sometimes.
The first couple
Yeah,
of years, oh, go for it.
yeah. No, go ahead, George.
The first couple of years, I was on my own, right? Trying to, even when it came to food, I would just go to the Western restaurants. I was completely avoiding anything that had to do with Korean food. I don't know. I think I was afraid. I don't know how to. I just wanted to stick with what I knew, what was my comfort zone, and try to survive.
Comfort zone.
You know.
Yeah.
But once you start trying and you're open your heart to Korea, it gets to you. You know. So
it does. It does.
It does get to you. To the point that when I go back to the States, I do look for kimchi.
You're looking for the chopsticks as well.
I do that too, man.
Okay. Reverse
my
culture
kimchi.
shock, right?
It does. Yeah, it does happen to people. Happened to me.
Right. Jack, what about you? Did you have that kind of experience in your Western bubble, and then it kind of popped and you came out of it, or?
Yeah, when I came to Korea, like I was. You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Lisa just said that
1997.
She's been here since 1997, man. When I came to Korea, I replaced another teacher who was actually one of the coolest guys here in Ulsan. I don't know if you've ever met Marty, the Texan. He's a Texan dude, and he was here for a while. And he kind of introduced me to the rest of the crowd. He had a motorcycle. He was cruising on a bike, and when I was here he was here, I guess, for about a month, and then he left. So while I was kind of being trained to replace him, he introduced me to the crowd, to the expats here. I later bought his motorcycle, and it just so happened that he was into climbing and I was into climbing, which means that I immediately was thrown into a pretty comfortable Pullman with people who love the things that I do, climbing, rock climbing. And then I learned how to ride a bike, through him, which was amazing, because then I spent the entirety of the next 3 or 4 years until 2008. No, that's only 3 years. Cruising around Korea on a motorcycle, which is a really good way to see the country. And back then, it was Korea was very different still. So my experience with the locals was, I guess, not excluded. Like I went to the local gym, and met some people through there who would invite me, because I think back then I was living in a small neighborhood here, and there were like literally 2 white faces in it, 3, maybe 2, whatever. And people were pretty friendly. They'd invite me for like, oh, let's go have beer, let's have drinks, or whatever, let's have dinner. So I'd hang out with some of the locals here and stuff. But for the most part, it was just a bubble. Like expat bars.
It's sometimes difficult to stay in. I'd love to hear from Lisa what it was like in 1997. That would be pretty cool to hear. What
Lisa, maybe you could type up a little share here. Let us know.
Yeah. Okay, so so basically, Korea, your verdict is it's an open place. It's a good place to come over. We said you could save some money. I've certainly noticed, if we talked about a lot of positive things, I've certainly noticed, the cost of living has gone up, especially recently. It's gone up, and it's affected the world. The rents, when I first came, I found a place like 400,000. It was super cheap at that time. So what's that? $400 a month. Good size as well, but I don't think you can find that nowadays for the rent. So what would you say the average rent here is in Korea? Like just for our audience, be like what, 800, 900, $1,000?
It all depends on what part of the city you're going to be living at, right?
In which city you're living, I think.
In which city, yeah.
Right.
I was talking about Ulsan, so I mean, if you go to Daldong, right, it's going to be more expensive. If you are in Chakwa or what's the other place, Daundong, it's cheaper. It's still around 400 to 500.
I noticed a big difference between Seoul and Gyeonggi in terms of the cost. And if anyone's coming over, I'd recommend Gyeonggi. Gyeonggi is a great place to start. I started in Anyang. I'd recommend that place for anybody. Okay, so guys, if you could live anywhere else outside of Korea, you could just pack your bags and become a nomad, where would you like to go?
Mauritius.
Mauritius. Funny you should say that. Okay, all right, Jack. What about you?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm always torn. I want to be everywhere, man. I'd love to go see Europe and travel throughout Europe, but then Thailand's got this, this retirement visa, and I'm hitting 50 soon.
Nice.
So, and Thailand's nice. We've visited Thailand so many times, and it's a very.
I've heard great things about Thailand. Yeah. Where have you been to in Thailand? Just quickly, Bangkok.
Well, we usually tend to go to Koh Phangan, which is in the south. We visited Koh Phangan, Koh Samui. We also went to Chiang Mai with my wife before we got married and before we had children, and we spent like a good month over there, Bangkok and stuff. But yeah.
Okay, nice.
And on the other side, Krabi and Phuket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Koh Phi Phi.
I know Thailand's pretty cheap, but can you beat €1? Here's my question: can you beat €1? Because
I don't know.
We can start with our first article about nomad living. I dug up an article about 2022. There's this one village that you can go to in Sicily. It's called Sambuca. I'm sorry if my Italian's not very good.
Sounds like a drink, man.
But it's in
Sounds
Sicily.
like a drink.
Yeah. And you can live there for €1. So what do you reckon, guys? Would you pack up your bags and go?
Yeah. Is this the article?
Yeah,
It seems like it. Yeah.
The one next to it.
Next to it. This one here.
Yeah.
€1 house.
Yeah, when you mentioned that before, man, it blew my mind. I'm like, what do you mean $1 house? That's insane.
Crazy, right? Well, this kind of scheme started in 2017, and there are some catches to it. It's not as rosy as you initially think, right? I mean, one, you've got to get your paperwork in order. 2, you've got to get the visa. 3, you've got to renovate the house. In this village, you have to renovate the house in 1 year. So you can't be just buying the house and then disappear, or, buy the house and then go traveling around Europe and then forget about it. You have to live there for about 9 months of the year, I think it is.
9 months out of the year?
Yeah, not 9 months of the year. Okay. And in other villages, well, you have to contribute maybe 4,000 euros to local development. In my research,
what does that mean? You got to pay for the road constructions and stuff?
Yeah, what does that
pay
mean?
for like the roads or like to redo the parks and things like that. But apparently you get it back after 6 years. So it's kind of like a short-term loan for the town, I guess.
Okay. 6 years is not a short time, but still, it's 3,000.
4,000 euros.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal for a house that you get,
Right. And what's great about this article as well, yes, they have €1 houses, but also they started a new Airbnb scheme. So basically, you can somebody else owns the house, but you could be the manager of the house. You could live there for 9 months out of the year, manage the house for the guy, welcome guests and tourists, live at the house and show them around the village and the area. You could even get paid for it as well. So you're living there rent-free as the hotel manager, as the Airbnb manager of the property. So that seemed very appealing to me. I was like, if Korea doesn't work out, I might do this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not too attached to Korea as a country or anywhere, I guess, for that matter, and you're willing to travel, if you're with family or without, I guess either way, it usually works better if you're without family, right? Because then you kind of on the back.
That was the first thing I checked.
Right.
I read about
some of these villages are pretty remote. They're up in the mountains somewhere.
Actually, you know what? I have a friend who purchased a house in Italy, and he never wanted to disclose the amount that he spent on it. And I'm wondering if he didn't go for one of these deals, man. Because when I asked him, he was a bit wishy-washy. He didn't want to tell me how much. I was very curious to know, because I visited Italy when I was a kid, many years ago. It was a nice place. And Italy's got its charm, right? It's got history and all that jazz, and it's a nice area to live. So I was always curious about how do people, but I always was under the impression that it's very expensive. So I was always wondering, how do people afford things like moving to a place like in Italy, buying a house or whatever. I don't remember if he bought one or if he was renting a place, but yeah, that's what he did. So I'm wondering if that's what he did.
Interesting. Well, maybe you have to follow up with the guy. I think it varies per region as well, because in Sicily, in the south, it's more agricultural. The population is declining in certain areas, so that's why they're trying to get people in. And they've also just opened up a digital nomad scheme as well, so we can kind of talk about that later. But you can see from the pictures, it's a pretty well-kept village. Other ones they're quite dilapidated. This is a very well-kept village, and you could live there for 9 months. So, George, what are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? It sounds pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
The name Sambuca. There's a drink, right? Sambuca.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a
We used to
I
compliment.
always
something
thought
on fire.
Sambuca was Greek, but it's in Italy.
Is it?
So yeah.
Is that where it comes from? Zambuca, the drink?
I don't know.
I thought it was Greek, but maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I don't know.
Somebody do a quick Google check.
Let's see.
Okay, let's have a look.
Sambuca.
Sambuca.
There you go. Wikipedia. It's an Italian and anise flavored, usually colorless liquor.
Oh,
So
maybe you can try some Sambuca there. Oh, I'm getting confused with Ouzo. Ouzo is the Greek one, right?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also a Turkish one, and they're all anise based, man.
You can't drink a lot of it. No, it's a taste. The aniseed, right? I really don't like it. No.
Turkish one is rake.
Ah, right.
And
I guess if we don't fancy living in Italy, guys, we could jump to George's place, Mauritius.
My place, I would love to.
So I'll give you the deets on Mauritius. Okay.
All right.
So I was looking at digital nomads. I got
Wait,
three.
did you share that? Did you share the link with me for that one?
Yeah, let me get it for you.
Mauritius is great, man. The views are amazing. Safe.
Have you been there, George?
Affordable. We got family trying to convince us to go there, to live there.
And what's keeping you
pitched
back?
the case already.
You got stuff going on in the States,
no.
right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
this
one
one,
of the things.
this
Yeah.
The second one.
Mauritius is like the Hawaii of Africa, basically.
Beautiful golden sand beaches. That's what I've heard. I had a friend who got married down there.
Yeah, it's a very popular destination with.
He asked everyone from back home, and he said, "You want to come over?" It's just everyone was looking at how far the journey is. It's quite so. It's right near Madagascar. It's quite far away, isn't it?
Right.
Even from the mainland of Africa.
Ben, I don't have a link. Did you send it to me?
Yeah, I've got it in the chat.
Somewhere. Yeah.
You just post it in a private chat there on SteamYard.
It did. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
It's the second one, the I am Maylene.
Got it. Yeah.
What's the visa process, Ben? Did you read about it?
Yeah. Okay, so all right, let's do Mauritius first. So Mauritius, okay, I've got 3 countries I'm going to tell you about and ask you what do you fancy and whether you're going to pack your bags. All right. So
Sure.
if you go down to Mauritius first, we can have a look at the details. This completely blew me away. George, you picked a fantastic place, not just for the beauty, but so basically they're targeting freelancers, entrepreneurs, retirees, and digital nomads. with this new visa. It's been active since 2020, although they updated it in 2022.
Right.
It's a 1-year renewable visa. Unlike the other 2 countries that I looked at, you can renew this after 1 year. Easy. It's easy. The visa cost is free, right? So they're not getting you with the red tape. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm sorry. I'm reading about the required monthly income. This is none. What?
That's the kicker. That's what I was trying to tell you. Yeah. So basically, although I did read in 2022 they changed that to $1,000, but still, that's not too bad.
What?
You know, $1,000. Yeah.
Well, your estimated cost of living is $2,000 per month, so you're gonna have to have an income. So I guess they're saying like there's no requirement, but if you're gonna live there, it's kind of an automatic requirement, as in you won't be able to
have that money to live there. Right. Yeah.
I guess the high standard, the high cost of living for that area is because of the tourism, maybe, people going over there, the tourism. But, if you and your family if you came over in a family or a group, it might be a good place to all work together to bring your income together. But I liked how you could extend this one. The visa cost was free. A lot of tax incentives. You could use you don't get taxed on using your foreign credit card, and the beaches that blew me away. So great choice, George. Great choice. Let's jump to.
I have one more question before you go. The insurance price, health insurance, safety. What's it called? Safety wing.
Yes.
Did you find out how much is it?
Programs. Hey Mundo and Safety Wing. Yeah, well, it varies. They have three programs. But it varies on how many's in your party, how many's in your group.
All right.
So
Makes sense.
I can't tell you exact numbers, but it varies on who you're going with and how many people.
This is competing against Thailand, because it's retirees right there too, Jack.
That's right. Yeah.
But
look at the internet connection speed, man.
That's it. I'm not going.
That's what you got to sacrifice. All right, let's jump to Dubai. If you go to Dubai, we can see a more up-end place now.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. So I initially thought Dubai, it's the place of the rich and famous, the people that want to make it big in the Middle East. But I was quite surprised that, your visa cost is $600, $611. Yeah, the average cost is $5,000 a month. That's high. But the average cost of living is $3,500. But you only have to earn $5,000 a month. Now that is big for some people, but I thought it would be a lot higher. I thought it would be like 10K,
Dubai,
20K a month, right?
Right.
So what do you guys think? Are you surprised by that as well, or not really?
I'm surprised that Dubai is giving out the permits.
Number one, right?
And faster speed in internet connection, so that's great.
130.
That's a winner. That's a chicken dinner for you. Also, they are much more open with the nationalities, I think, as well. Okay, let's jump to my choice, Croatia. Always wanted to go to Croatia.
Island pending. Where is Croatia? Right there. There you go.
Right there.
Okay, so this started in 2021. They have redone this for 2022. Non-EU nations can apply for it.
Oh, that's good.
Because there's not really any point if you're in the EU, because Croatia joined the EU pretty recently, so there's no point. So non-EU nations can apply. You get a 1-year maximum, though. So unlike your choice, George, where you can just keep renewing, this is capped at 1 year.
1 year.
So at the end of maybe 9-10 months, you're going to have to start looking elsewhere.
Really? They don't give you the option to renew? Literally a cap?
It's what I understand, it's a 1-year cap, but they might change that. If they realize that people want to stay, they might change that. What I did like, if you look at the monthly income section, just over 2,000 euros, which is not too bad. My research is the cost of living in Croatia is about $1,800 to just under $2,000, and so it's quite cheap to live. You only need to earn just over 2,000 euros, or you can have 27,000 euros in the bank. So if you have that kind of money, you don't need to be earning
Right.
technically to be there if you have 27,000 euros, which might be a lot for some people. But yet again, I'm surprised. It's a European country. You only need that much. You can get the digital visa. Once you're in the EU, you can move around, get work elsewhere. You're working online. I think it's quite
It's
good.
doable. Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah.
I'm packing my bags as we speak.
See you there.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, Thailand had a similar thing. I'm looking at it right now, but it says status pending.
Yeah.
And required monthly income unknown. So I'm wondering if they just didn't do their research on this. From what I understand, Thailand had a requirement of a $20,000 deposit into any bank account, basically creating a bank account with a $20,000 deposit, and then you can use that to apply for the retirement visa. The one requirement is they have an age requirement, from what I understand, and that's you have to be over 50 years old.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
I just noticed very quickly, if you go up it said 5 years. So unlike Croatia's capped at 1 year, that was a 5-year visa program, which is pretty sweet. I also know that I heard from a friend who bought a place out in Thailand, and he said that it's quite limited in terms of you can't buy houses, but you can buy apartments, right? And it's
in Thailand,
it's limited on how many foreigners can live in the apartment tower. Is that right?
Yeah, I think there is a requirement of 60% residents need to be Thai, and 40 are internationals. That's the deal. That's why you can't really buy property. You can't buy land in Thailand unless you do it through a registered company that's again majority Thai owned.
Yeah.
Which is smart, and Thailand's trying to keep its land, in the hands of the Thai, because probably otherwise would have been swooped up by a lot of the Chinese multinationals who are buying up property all over the world now.
Yeah, they come with the money, buy everything.
A lot of places as well. I mean, I looked at Vietnam. You can actually, you own the house, but you don't own the land. So that the land underneath you don't own. The government still owns that, but you own the building.
So if you move, you can actually pick up the house and move the house. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Buy a trailer.
Oh, Lisa's got a comment, by the way.
Yes,
I can see that.
My good friend's brother has been teaching in the United Arab Emirates for years now.
Okay.
There was also a comment that was related to an earlier discussion here. So different. This was on how Korea was in 1997, right? That was the question that you had, Ben. Disa said, so different, but of course somewhat the same. A lot more Western staples can be found here commonly nowadays. I lived in Iksan for 6 months before traveling to Jeju to find broccoli.
All the way to Jeju for broccoli. Wow. I would just go for the beaches.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, no, I've noticed an expansion of, if you look at wine, I was at Lotte today, and just the range of wine they've got compared to when I came over. Have you guys noticed that? The expansion of food and drinks?
We did. I
In
did.
Korea?
Because,
Yeah.
Oh, the expansion of everything, I think. Like the moment, the next month after I quit drinking, man, I noticed that there was such a large variety of beer from the Czech Republic, from Spain, and everywhere. Prior to that, you only had like 3. Piss, and more piss. It was like Hyde, cats, and whatever else. Even
it happened right before you quit.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Right after, it was just all of a sudden these massive influx of brews from all over the world.
I noticed because my wife said, "Look, they're all this South African wines and things." So,
right. So
Nice.
that's what happened.
What do you reckon out of those 3 choices? What would you choose? Croatia, Mauritius, or UAE? I don't know. I'm swinging towards UAE if I had a bit more more economic potential. Like I think Lisa's brother made a good choice. I think it's a good place to live.
Why would you choose? Why would you choose the Emirates?
I just think it's it's good to set up a business. It's good to it's very international. I've heard I've had friends who've been there recently, and shopping's great, and some of the traditional spots are great. Maybe we can ask Lisa why UAE.
Yeah. Just looking at the different countries, and most of them have a 1-year visa. I wonder if they're renewable.
They probably are, man, because once, I mean, you really don't settle in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you start buying stuff or getting a job.
Look at that, even Germany's giving out 6 to 3 month years visas, man. That's, wow, the world is changing.
Yeah, as long as you've got an online, as long as you've got the income coming in, you've got a business cash flow coming in. The only thing I've noticed with the research is that some of them will tax you on the income you're making elsewhere pretty high, varying per country. Others are very friendly. They won't bother with, as long as you're spending money, you're spending that foreign credit card or whatever, or you're spending your money in the country, in the villages, whatever, they're fine with it. So it really varies. Yeah.
Iceland's very stingy, 6 months or 90 days if already in Schengen, wherever that is. Is that the capital of Iceland?
That's the EU scheme, the EU free movement scheme.
Okay.
So yet again, really limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too cold there anyway, so.
Malta, Iceland, yeah, it's cold, but it's a place I would like to visit, man. Iceland.
Iceland is gorgeous.
Yeah. I was looking at Montenegro earlier. It's like the cheaper Italy. It looks like a beautiful country. Yeah. Macedonia, didn't think about that one either. Yeah. Lisa's talking about soju.
Yeah. Kids could buy grandpa's soju back in the day, yeah?
Yeah.
I wonder, do kids are people required to show their IDs now when they, well, not people, but kids, when they buy alcohol? I heard stories. I have I had a student, he's 65 now, and he oftentimes would tell me stories about what Korea was like when he was a kid, and kids would run around here, and the parents would send them to stores to pick up jugs of makgeolli, or like the rice that was used to make makgeolli, and the kids would eat the rice while running back home and just get drunk off the rice and the alcohol residue in the makgeolli rice, man.
Nice.
My grandpa used to send me to the liquor store.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. I'll be the assigned grandson. Every afternoon I would have to run to the liquor store.
And they'd serve you okay? No problems there?
No questions asked, man. They were just, no.
Wow, okay.
I guess the owner already knew my family. Oh, it's for your grandpa. Here it is. But still, doesn't make it right.
Yeah, and well, yeah, true. I guess in small towns, everybody knows each other, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Right.
All right, Jack. Well, thanks for inviting us on this podcast. It's been a good one.
What do you mean invite? This isn't an invitation. This is a permanent thing, man.
Well, to the first one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out the setup here, because I'm not liking the way we started this podcast today. It was messy. Last time we had a trial run and it worked well, and then today it was chaotic. I have no idea what happened. Something with the feed loop, and so we're
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. Thanks to Lisa for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Lisa's always been. By the way, Lisa does. Lisa, let me know if you're doing your calligraphy classes. Lisa has calligraphy classes online, and she's a frequent visitor here to the podcast. She's been with me pretty much since the beginning as well, like you, Ben. And if I think, what is it? Lisa's Lovely Letters. If anybody's interested in learning some calligraphy, head on over.
Lisa'sLovelyLetters.com. I might check them out actually. Yeah.
I think I've posted the link on the Facebook Live in Korea Facebook group several times. Lisa says, awesome. Thanks, guys. So
you're welcome.
If you're interested in learning some calligraphy, head on over to Lisa's website, and then you can register for that. I don't know when the courses are, but you can do that there.
I hope the nomad topic, even though we had an erratic start, the nomad topic might have been useful for some people, got you thinking. It's certainly opened up my way of thinking to pick and choose some countries in the future. Should we say if anyone wants to recommend a topic to discuss, put it in the chat?
Absolutely.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah. We're so as mentioned at the beginning, we're the goal of the new format right now with the three of us is to branch outside of Korea and talk about topics of all kinds and sorts and shapes and sizes, stuff that interests us and anybody else. So if you are interested in any topics if there are any topics that you would like to hear,
Let us know.
cover, let us know.
Yep.
Drop a comment in the section below. Also, remember to smash up the likes. And
that's us for today.
Fantastic.
All right. We'll see you again next time, eh?
so the next podcast is going to take place on next Sunday at 9 p.m. With a much better startup. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here is the outro. Oh wait, last comment from Lisa. Dang. There you go. Lisa says today's topics were quite informative. Ben's idea. Well done, Ben.
Well done, Ben.
Alrighty. Okay, Lisa, have a good night. And everybody else out in the radio land, make sure to smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, and follow us for next podcast. Have a good one.
See you guys.
See, I got the money, I got the dough. Tell me you love me, Allah, aye.
I'm your Reddington girl, wheels up in 5 to my place. They say love is blind, true talk, cause it was hard to find, yeah. Now that